Hello YouTube, it's me, the one they call Mr. Yatix, and I'm back again with another video. That's like 2 this month. I'm essentially spamming you at this point. Okay, well thanks a lot for joining me. Now today, the purpose of today's video is I want to talk to you about the art of Wing Chun. Okay, now a lot of the talk on YouTube, especially on my videos, as it turns out, is people bickering and arguing about whether Wing Chun works or not, or whether it is a legitimate fighting art, or whether it would work in the ring and all this, or whether it would work on the street, etc., etc. But I want to put all that to one side just for one video, if at all possible. So if you've got your fingers poised over the keyboard, about to tell me how Wing Chun sucks, maybe give it a minute or two. There's a lot of reasons why you would go and train a martial art, okay? And believe it or not, only one of them is to be able to fight people. And that might sound reasonably controversial, but I don't think it is. Especially when I'm talking especially about traditional martial arts here. I'm not going to name any names because obviously people have different opinions of what they do and stuff like that. But the important thing to know is that there's 2 words involved here: martial art. Okay, so it's martial in as much as you can use it in a war situation, and it's an art in as much as you're using it to express yourself. Okay, so there's a lot of components about learning a traditional martial art like Wing Chun. Obviously, there is a physical discipline. In some of them, this transfers over into a sort of a fitness and flexibility. As I've said before, less so in Wing Chun in this regard, but that's cool. There's the tradition of it all, the fact that by training or being taught and therefore teaching subsequently a traditional martial art, you are carrying on something that has been around for thousands of years, and you are a conduit through which that knowledge passes, and you keep that knowledge alive because yes, you can make videos and write books and everything, but the important thing about martial arts is that they have to be learned one-on-one, 2 humans interacting with one another. That's how they work best, and that will never change, regardless of how many brain implants you all have got, you scamps. So that's really important. I think the tradition and the continuation of a tradition around a body of knowledge that has lived for many, many, many generations is really, really important. And if you're a part of that, you should take it very seriously. I think it's a lot of responsibility, especially from my position when I've been training Wing Chun for nearly 17 years, and I've taught a lot of people, and every time I go to class and I teach people things, I take a great deal of pride in knowing that I have some of the answers, if not all of them, and it really makes me feel good to be able to pass on what I know to somebody else, who will then obviously put their own spin on it, their own interpretation, pass it on to somebody else, and the art lives on. And after I die, Wing Chun will continue, and all the rest of it, which is really cool. So there's a tradition side of martial arts, which is something that is very much a separate conversation to whether it is better or worse than martial art B, or whether martial artist A will beat martial artist B, and whether it's the art or the person that makes the difference. It doesn't make a lot of difference, really. The whole point of the matter is that, guns exist, right? So if you really wanted to kill somebody, you'd probably just shoot them, right? Especially if you're an American. Just kidding. Just kidding, American friends. But, it's true. Traditional martial arts come from a time a long time ago where people were walking around the streets battering each other to death over, nicking each other's cows and stuff like that. And we don't live in that world anymore. And yes, you have your street brawls and so on and so forth, but although a lot of them do end in tragedy, it's not the intention of anyone to kill each other, I don't think. When it comes to a street altercation, it's usually just a bit of a dust-up. Something goes wrong, or somebody stomps on the wrong person's head, and there you go. So we're living in different times, and that's really important to recognise, and that training a martial art for its lethal abilities, be they whether they exist or not, is probably not the reason why you're doing it. I wouldn't have thought. I would expect you to go to that sports centre every Thursday night, that sports hall with your friends, and you train to be able to learn a set of skills. That's the next point I was going to make, is the social side of things. It's a hobby for a lot of us. I bet very few people watching this video are professional martial artists who earn their living through kicking and punching people. Nobody does anymore. It's very, very rare, unless you're a movie star or something like that. The luxury of being able to train 24/7 or go to an opera school at the age of 3 and learn how to do the splits it just doesn't happen. Especially not in the UK and other sort of the Western areas of the world. So you're training for fun. It is a hobby. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be having broken arms and legs and noses. You want to train in a safe, fun environment, and you're doing it, and you're paying for this. You're paying for for this training. So you have to be enjoying it, otherwise why would you do it, right? So, martial arts are a hobby, and if you're a professional fighter, as in you go in the cage and you train MMA or whatever it is you do, or, that's a way of earning, a very hard way to earn a living, but you can certainly do it. But that's a sport, you say, and I'm not talking about sports here, I'm talking about traditional martial arts. Unless you want to start your own school and earn money that way, which goes back to what I was saying about passing on knowledge through the traditional lineage of people passing it from one to the other, then it's you can't really even say that about it. You can't say, well, I'm going to get rich being a karate instructor, because you probably won't. But you might have a great time doing it. So, there's a social side of martial arts. People do it as a hobby and they enjoy it a great deal and make new friendships. Aside from that, people gain a great deal of confidence from training traditional martial arts, regardless of that they might never use them even once. Okay, but we all know, people watching this video will know, that how you comport yourself on the street, the confidence that you exude, or the atmosphere that you give about yourself, is as much of a self-defense tactic as any block, kick, punch, etc. Okay, if you're walking down the street with your hands in your pockets and you're staring at the ground, you are exuding that victim personality, and you will be picked on if you walk down the street with your head held high and very much aware of your surroundings and your posture is good. People think, well, maybe I'll pick on the next guy or girl that I meet instead of this person. Edit. iMovie's a real piece of shit, isn't it? Yeah? If anybody out there knows a better way of recording videos than iMovie, I'd love to hear it. Anyway, discipline is a very important part of learning traditional martial arts, and it's one of the reasons that I think people go to the military and enjoy being in the military as a career, is that there is something good for the soul for being able to answer to somebody higher up than yourself. And I think it is good to be told what to do sometimes. I think we are all free spirits and beautiful, unique snowflakes, but a lot of the time you do need someone to tell you to drop and do those 20 push-ups, and you'll do the 20 push-ups. But if you're on your own in your house, you won't do 20 push-ups. You'll do 10 and go, oh, I'm tired. Yeah, we all know it's true. You've all been in this situation before. Somebody said, you have to do this. And you go, there's no way I can do that. But you do it. And that's because somebody outside of yourself has pushed you to somewhere where you didn't think you could be before. And that's pretty cool. And traditional martial arts, you go to your sifu or your teacher or whoever it is, your master, and they say, right, today you're going to do, this particular exercise, and you'll go, oh, gosh, but they'll drive it out of you, and that's really important, to have somebody behind you pushing you towards excellence. And I think traditional martial arts is one of the places that you can get that kind of discipline. So, I could go on. There's a lot of different things that you get out of the principle or the process of learning a martial art, especially traditional martial art like Wing Chun. So, you need to think about it this way. People are always going to do things that you think are stupid. Okay, people ride motorcycles. I think that's pretty stupid, but I'm not going to go around telling people I think it's stupid for them to ride motorcycles. It's like, if they want to do it, that's cool. It affects me not at all. If somebody wants to go and train Wing Chun and you think it's stupid and ineffectual and pointless and all the rest of it, then that's cool too. But just think before you next go off one of your keyboard tirades against somebody who's just really doing something they really love and that they get a lot of joy from. And they're not hurting anybody. And you might say, well, they're going out in the street with a false sense of confidence, and they're going to get their ass kicked. And that might well be the case, but every martial artist and every traditional martial artist I've ever met from any discipline is the last person who will be out there starting a fight, and the first person who will be looking to defuse the situation and get out. Because training in traditional martial arts, or any kind of martial art, the first thing it teaches you is the fragility of the human body. Okay, and you want to preserve yours, and you don't want to break somebody else's. I guarantee it. And I'm talking about martial arts, people training, not guys in the backyard padding up and sparring with each other or doing backyard wrestling or whatever. I'm not interested in that. I'm talking about people who go and seriously train at a recognised school with people who are good or who have qualifications or who have experience. Okay, so I hope that's clear. I think it's clear. The art of Wing Chun is that it's an art. It's an art to be enjoyed and to be treasured and to be held precious. Okay? And whether you personally think it is the least effective martial art or the most effective martial art doesn't come into it. Okay? So it's a bit of food for thought there. I'll be back again soon with more pearls of wisdom, more nuggets, if you will. Thanks a lot for watching. You're terrific. Please leave a comment, subscribe, all that good shit, and I'll speak to you soon. Ta-ra.